Alright, so the poll, as you can see right here, is quite tied. It's very tied. We're at a spot for Lily, but it's not. Sorry, Lily. It's just not gonna happen. We'll do a coin flip for between Rin and Emmy because that's who's tied right now. So we'll do. Oof. I'm not sure who to do who. I guess we'll do Rin as heads and Emmy as tails. I guess. Makina, do you wanna call which? And I'll just whoop. I'll just put that right there for a second. Oh, you can't see it. Hang on. Let me. Here we go. Here we go. Whoops. Come on. Here we go. Just go with whatever. Okay. Emmy is tails. I'll pick heads. Emmy it is. Okay. Ah. I don't know if we'll have to go back. Is my thing. Bigo. Hype for Emmy. I should change my title. Hang on. I didn't think this through. Hold on. Bum ba da bum. There we go. Did it update? I hope it updated. Why is it showing that I'm hosting someone still? Don't host. Come on. Update my title, please. Update. Updated. There we go. Okay. We have been updated. And I have lots of good water because it's going to be a lot of talking again. Yeah, Twitch is super dumb when it comes to titles. I find it works best in chat, but I always forget the command, and Electro's not here to do it for me. Alright, well, there's nothing to worry about. The hill is surprisingly steep, don't you think? Oops, need to click on that. There we go. I wonder why they have the school so high up here for anyways. Don't we have students in wheelchairs and everything? I need to adjust my overlay. Gonna get rid of this straw pole, and I'm gonna move my webcam to the middle. There we go. Okay. Indeed. Lily's forehead wrinkles in concern. I don't really want her to have that kind of an expression over me. We barely know each other. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Not that you can find a place like this wherever, I guess, but it makes me wonder what they're thinking. Emmy gang, hello Lebowski. Welcome to the stream where we were going after Emmy because they're tied and I did a coin flip and that's who won. My voice is overly calm. It sounds weird to my own ear, and as I speak too fast, I wonder briefly how much Lily can sense from someone's voice. Let's continue. We're almost there anyway. Where were they going? Oh, school. For the rest of the way back to school, we all remained silent. I feel like this is gonna get me the manly picnic now. Oh, there's so much hair in my face. I'm not used to this. Which choice do we pick? We picked not to talk about it. I need to... God damn it. I need to adjust my Nightbot now. Disable. There we go. Good choice. Well, otherwise we would have gone for Lily, right? And we don't want to go for Lily. We're going for Emmy. So, sorry, Lily. Maybe next time. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting tired eyes of people who looked like they worked through the night. With only one day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people that here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. Wow, lazy. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Jesus, that was a lot of paper. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. They are totally doing council work for the festival. God damn it, they get to skip class. Why does my camera always feel like it resets? Hang on. I feel like we usually zoomed in a little bit more. There we go. And then we'll just do a little bit of this. There we go. I feel like I have to do that every time. It's very quiet without Misha present. Yes, no more yelling. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. It's 'cause she's mute, isn't it? Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Uh-oh. Something about this doesn't sound too good. But I stand up and follow him out the hallway. Muto stands in the hallway scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. Yeah, Rotaro was right. So, tell me, how are things? Things? I expect Muto to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You had a week to settle in now, so how are things? Uh, Fine, I guess. I see. And how is your condition? The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Muto's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you for when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask that you didn't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you'd get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential with them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I didn't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in the little life support prison. Yeah, well, you gotta keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Muto pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and go back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they're working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on their desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Muto doesn't even notice them. Not a care in the world. Just like real school. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got him there. The class returns to the near silence that Muto and I left before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for the chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class of time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. How's audio, by the way? I hope the game isn't too loud or too quiet. Let me know if it is one of those two, please. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. Homework. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressuring issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. At lunch? I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Okay, good. Audio's good. Very important. Apart from me, Hanako's the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom just to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is Hanako. Game's a little quiet? Okay. There we go. Turn it up a little bit. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn the pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her though, her slender frame reaching into her bag, pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat, and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. That was the end of the day, I guess. Okay. Not really feeling energetic, I just go straight into my room and read for the rest of the day. Oh no. The next day I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Isn't the festival today? Shit. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. This screams manly picnic. I think we might have a problem here. I think it's too late for Emmy. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. You know what? I bet it was at the track that we had to do that question for Emmy, but we weren't sure who, so we didn't pick. Damn it. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Oh, we picked the right option for the track? Or we needed to answer at track, because I think we needed to answer, but I don't think I picked the right one. We'll do this, it'll probably take like a half hour, then we'll go back. It'll be okay. Passing by his door, I decide what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. Yeah, this is not good. Guys being dudes. Yeah. I'm curious if he has any plans since everyone's doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room as my cat screams somewhere else in the apartment. Or probably something like a fort, complete with "No Girls Allowed" sign. And with the girls crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Oh no, body. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back, and the door opens with a crack. Door opens a crack. Oh, this is gonna kill my throat. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing, just gonna ask what you were up to, what you were gonna do today. Half the school's out there already. Oh, where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are... I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? Oh, God. He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden boots outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtain closed at all times to thwart the snipers. Good God. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh, shit, that's today? Damn. Damn it. Can't believe I forgot. I don't even have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is gonna be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is gonna be a bad day. Why? Oh, man, they're just gonna be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. God, can you imagine people socializing? Oh, what is this world come to? Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's gonna be loud as hell. Damn. And I was gonna go today. But now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. He could even say he's majorly freaking out. Kenji's got some weird shit going on. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, I couldn't even prepare for it. Couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine I could have accomplished. Sorry, thought you knew. I guess you're not going to do anything today? The weather's even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though. So there's no reason to stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. They'll eat me alive out there, I know it. That has to be a joke. But he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight. What are you gonna do? We should hang out in here. You could help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. What am I gonna do? I don't have any plans. In hindsight, that's really stupid. Maybe I should have asked a girl out? Then again, all things considered, I don't think I could have done anything like that. It's only my first week. God damn it. A week that I've wasted on being awkward around almost everyone, stumbling over myself trying to get the hang of this place. Thinking about it, what have I accomplished? Nothing. Damn it. Who would I have even asked? Literally anybody else. Damn, it seems that Kenji is the only realistic option for a date today. This is the most depressing thing that's happened to me since I had a heart attack because a girl confessed her love to me. Can't be helped. I don't know, really. I don't have anything, I guess, but a fort seems a bit excessive. You sure you don't want to go outside? It's not like visitors won't come in dorms today. He looks thunderstruck by this revelation. Damn, you may have a point. This place is not safe today. We must find somewhere to hide in. To the roof! He falls silent for a moment, thinking. The roof! What about it?
We're gonna hide out on the roof for today. It's the perfect place. Nobody ever goes up there. Meet me there in 1 hour. I have to prepare. I need to get the alcohol.
He slams the door shut and locks. Click closed. Damn, what the hell is wrong with Kenji? And I think I'm going along with all his craziness. It really makes me upset. I feel like a failure. I wonder why. This is some fourth wall shit right here. This is... Oh, this is really foreshadowing what's about to come. Once I step outside, the din of the crowd gets me. Din of the crowd? The whole school is bustling with activity. There are stalls everywhere. The crowd swarming between them is considerable. I didn't expect the festival would attract so many visitors. I have to admit, the people in charge of decorating this place put a lot into it, and it really shows. People seem to be enjoying themselves, and the atmosphere is colorful, bright, and happy. That is, if I weren't suddenly in such a foul mood. You're going to hang out with Kenji. Oh, I didn't read that. Sorry. Well, it can't be helped. I decided to stick with my original plan and eat. Then I guess I have to at least see what Kenji is up to on the roof. I do a slow circle around the grounds to kill some time, looking at the stalls, but not feeling like playing any of the games anymore. The garish colors grind my eyes as I feel more ill by the minute. I can't even decide what I want to eat, and the large selection combined with the masses of energetic festival visitors isn't helping. It's pretty fancy. I head toward the nearest stall that seems to offer something halfway edible and get in line. Turns out to be noodles. It also turns out to be not very good. Well, at least it's nourishment. It's not like I demand anything else at this point. As I stir my disagreeable noodles, I idly wonder what the others are doing right now. She's named Misha are definitely somewhere organizing things. I better steer clear of them. I guess they wouldn't forgive me so easily for leaving them alone with this thing. I expect Emmy to be buzzing all over the place, being depressingly cheerful. There's no chance to find her, but no chance to avoid her either, so it doesn't matter. Lily would probably be helping her class with the festival event, and entirely too busy for another's company. Hanako wouldn't want to talk to anyone, either keeping to herself or helping Lily. Rin would be tending to her mural and is probably being unhelpful to any hypothetical interested parties. Going there for some peace and quiet seems like the nicest option of the above, but then again, I can't see having art forced on me raising my mood either, so I'll pass. This is real depressing. While I was lost in thought, my food seems to have disappeared, and so has my hunger. I guess I just blocked out the experience of eating, which should be a good thing. Satiated but unsatisfied, I walk towards the main school building. An hour has almost passed already. The crowd is even thicker in here than it was outside. The hallways are almost unbearable. I don't even dare to think what it's like inside the classrooms. I head upstairs to my destination, the roof. Thankfully, the door at the top isn't locked, but now there's a handwritten sign on it. Off limits. I don't mind if I don't. The festival noise is surprisingly muted up here, and the rooftop looks deserted, as expected. Near a place where the cyclone fence has collapsed, there's a pile of blankets that seems oddly out of place. Wait, did that pile just move a little? That would be strange. There's no wind at all. I carefully stick my hand out and give it an experimental prod. Ah! Startled, I jump back. Who is it? God damn it, Kenji, it's me! Oh, damn, you scared me, man. So what are we doing up here? We're having a picnic! Oh, a what? Yeah, I have blankets, pretzels, and whiskey. It's the ultimate setup, man. Whiskey? Aren't you a bit too young to drink alcohol? I'm 20, you know? You're not. I am, and so are you. What? That's absurd. Hey, at least you get something out of it. All I get is this bottle of whiskey. His voice. He's rambling incoherently, but I decide to play along. So, why do you have a bottle of whiskey?
My mom couldn't come visit for the festival, so she sent me some expensive single malt instead.
A likely story.
Want some?
It's not like I have anything to lose. This pod day can't possibly get worse. Why not? We sit down on a pile of blankets Kenji apparently dragged up here. He produces an almost full bottle of whiskey and passes it to me. You didn't even bring glasses?
No, this is not some romantic princess picnic. What the hell, man? This is a manly picnic.
Gotta love your manly picnics, huh? I'm sure you guys all go on manly picnics on like a weekly basis or something.
No glasses. No napkins. Whiskey only. The beverage of true men.
Whatever.
And pretzels.
I take a closer look at the bottle. A 12-year-old single malt whiskey, as he said. Shrugging my shoulders, I take a swig. It burns my throat like acid, but the taste isn't unpleasant. Hello, Otolan Dami. Dami? Yeah. Welcome back. Standard way of having it for us men. Even when I go on a date, it's a manly picnic. You guys. Feels like I felt it going straight into my head, and the aftertaste lingers in the back of my mouth, craving another swig.
Should we outline our counteroffensives and trash talk women here, where they can't hear us? Damn, I forgot to bring my graphs.
I decide to play a drinking game with myself. Every time Kenji mentions female conspiracy, I'll take a swig. You're gonna fucking kill yourself of alcohol poisoning if you do that. That is a death sentence in itself. 4 or 5 hours, or possibly several days later, I lost track. This is the picture I used to style the wig. I shouldn't feel bad.
You shouldn't feel bad, man. Ease the fuck up. Seriously.
I'm relaxed, god damn it.
I'm telling it as I see it. Think about it. When did the housing and land start becoming more and more expensive? When women began entering the workforce, because it created 2-income nuclear families. Yeah, I forgot my graphs, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Women are connected to the decay of all society.
The depressing thing is some people agree with this guy. I see. That is kind of hard to believe. Even if I said that. Somehow, everything Kenji says just makes more sense now. It all fits together, but I don't know if it's because he can explain things more clearly when drunk, or because I understand everything better when drunk. I think it's like the opposite. He's just going full crazy, and you are so drunk you don't care.
No, man, think of the deeper implications. People could afford to start saying, oh, well, since 2 members of the family are now earning money as opposed to 1, they can surely afford something like the cost of ownership.
I see your point, but land in Japan has always been expensive.
And the price of land generally goes up when a country starts undergoing industrialization. But no, it's because of women. Correlation equals causation, you know.
Okay, I took first year psych. Correlation does not equal causation. If I learned anything, it's that. I thought correlation doesn't equal causation. He sound knows what's up. Well, whatever. Maybe you're right. Kenji's never right. Come on. Unless he says 1 + 1 = 2, I don't think he's ever right.
Yeah, I'm always right. Yeah, I bet women created industrialization too to cover their tracks.
Yeah, totally.
How diabolical. So yeah, everyone can go fuck themselves.
Oh fuck, look at his face! It just gets better. He stands up, impressing me because I'm fairly sure I couldn't even if I wanted to. He yells extremely loudly as if he's lost the concept of volume. I wince and almost want to cover my ears.
Ah, how nice would have been if I could have been down there, but no. You see, Thinking like that is a trap. You think you're missing out on something, but at the end of the road is nothing but despair.
I have tears from laughing. Okay. Kenji snatches back the bottle and leans back his head, attempting to pour the alcohol in his mouth, but he just ends up drenching himself in it.
Damn it! See, my aim is terrible, and the bad thing about drinking is that it only gets worse the longer you go. Today is the day of despair.
His voice immediately drops to almost a whisper, but he starts talking much faster than before, slightly slurring his words from the whiskey. As he talks, he waves the bottle around, spilling some of it here and there.
Yeah, you know what's the most shocking event of my life?
I have a hazy recollection of him telling about the second most shocking event in his life, which was a bird pooping on his head. I don't have a particularly great expectation of this, but I nod at him to continue anyway.
You wouldn't think about it, but I had a girlfriend here once. I think it was last year. I know who it was.
I know, crazy thought, right? Kenji having a girlfriend? That's impossible.
Yeah, I just blew your mind, huh? See? I never told that to anyone.
It's true. The thought sure does blow my mind. Suddenly, I want the bottle. I take it from Kenji and knock back as much as I can.
I was more innocent back then.
God.
And I thought she was sane, unlike most women. But then one day, she engaged in sexual intercourse. It was pretty okay, but then immediately following the event is the point of all such things. Something strange and scary happened.
I remember this. This is one of the few things I remembered. I don't know why, though. He throws himself up against the fence, leaning on it, and his eyes narrowed.
I started feeling incredibly tired and sleepy. That isn't normal, man. What the fuck? I mean, normally, that would be a high-tension adrenaline pump in a moment of everybody's life, but my energy levels were dropping like a brick. Something sinister was in the works. I could feel it. That's when I knew that women were dangerous. Sapping the life force of all men is through the one commodity that is almost solely theirs to control. Sickening. Yeah, you're better off, dude, being gay.
Kenji's onto something. No! It's almost like physical activity makes you tired or something. Whoa! Kenji was right. This really is the day of despair. I drink more to avoid having to process what he just said.
Now I'm the last sane man in an insane world. When other people realize it, there will be a war. A great war between men and the forces of feminism.
Good fucking Christ.
But the problem is that not all men would fight on my side. Shit sucks. I could set the bar kinda low. Any men are fine. But not the dudes raised by their mom or the sister, that's for sure.
Kenji predicting the future. Oh, Jesus. And nobody into dick girl porn. What the fuck? Kenji! What have you been looking up? That situation seems unlikely to me. Like it wouldn't happen. Like it's not very likely to happen. Classic 4chan. You're very right. Actually, yeah, the alcohol must be working. Regardless, I still feel depressed that I'm up here today. I wasn't really looking forward to the festival with the same excitement as the rest of the school, but still. I would like to have... It would have been nice to have gone with someone from up here. It certainly sounded like everyone's having fun. Maybe I'm missing out. Yeah, you should go join them. Kenji will help you. It's just that there's no one I could have gone with. Or maybe there was. So many opportunities. Looking back on it now, and I must have squandered so many of them. Yeah, well, there was Shizune, Lily, Rin, Emmy, Hanako. Yeah, all 5 opportunities.
Damn, this is true despair. The worst part is that sometimes I feel like I have no choices in my life, you know? Like I never have the choice to make a decision. Shit just happens.
This game and it's fucking... Oh boy. Are these the only kind of games that I play now? Ones that break the fourth wall?
Like it was all pre-programmed, like fate or something. Like there's no way I can have any say in what I do. Quick, ask me a question.
Uh,
Now!
I can't really.
See? This is just another example of it. Damn, shit, damn. Do you see? Now when I'm trying to go against my destiny and take charge of my life, the opportunity isn't even there.
Play Doki Doki. You know what? I actually did play Doki Doki. I played it as one of my first streams over the summer. It was pretty crazy. It's on my YouTube. Actually, you should check it out sometime. That was slick. Oh.
Damn, man, you failed me. Failed me for the last time. Jerk.
What? He slides to his knees and then falls over onto his side, laying on the gravel of the roof. Hey, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. Can't you see? I'm in despair.
He's speaking in a sarcastic tone. Oh, that wasn't sarcastic. My bad. Suddenly, Kenji sits up, clumsily pats himself clean, and puts his hands out towards me to reach for the bottle. I put it in his hand.
What in the hell? Damn, you almost killed the entire bottle. See, it's like I have no options in life. This is how it's gonna be for the rest of time?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like that for the rest of time. Whatever he's talking about, my head is spinning. I get up and lean against the fence, hoping it'll help me focus a little.
Yeah, I know. We have to fight the power we have to fight the power with all we've got. It's the only way to live. You're an alright guy. This brotherly bond is what keeps me going in those dark times.
Sweet Christ. This is killing me. And a bit of water.
We should go trolling women.
Rolling women? What?
Trolling women. Trolling for women. But we have to do it now, before I lose this alcohol-related courage.
Kenji caressing the vocal cords. Is he ever? Holy fuck, my throat. It's just dry. He's gesturing what? I take a step backwards. He takes a step forwards.
What's the matter with you? Not in the mood for love?
I don't remember this. To be frank? No. Take another step backward. He takes another step forward. Kappa pride. He leans in extremely uncomfortably close. What the hell? Stop leaning in like that. It bothers me.
Leaning in like what? Hey, you shouldn't lean against the fence like that. It's kind of unsafe.
More foreshadowing. I try to move away from Kenji, but my balance isn't so good. Reeling from the dizziness, I grab one of the fence posts. But then it feels like I give away as soon as I put my weight on it. This isn't good. Through my alcohol-addled brain doesn't seem to be quite capable of registering why. What better way to destroy all women than becoming gay? Kenji's face seems to be becoming smaller though, which is a bit of a relief. Much smaller in fact, and rapidly so. There seems to be a bit of wind now. Somehow it makes me feel almost weightless. I feel dazed, like my mind has gone black. Am I falling? I can see the night sky as I turn over in the air. The bottle floats out of my fingertips and disappears into thin air as I fall. I realize that this is a fitting end to a truly, truly bad day. Oh, that sound is not good. Oh, yeah, let's get some F's in chat for Sal, please. Alright, I'm gonna... Thank you. I'm gonna let these sweet credits play while I go fill my water and blow my nose because for some reason it is incredibly stuffed. Alright. So now we get to go down an actual girls route. Manly picnic is what you get for not going for Hanako first. Sorry. A nice speed run. Punishment for not going for Lily. Lebowski, I thought you liked Emmy. Or is she second best girl? On the bright side now, we can use the skip function, which is great. I love the skip function. Actually, hold on. I need to figure out what that is. It's probably control. I mentioned I already played this. Did I play all the routes? No. I played that route, if you call it a route. I played Rin's, Emmy's, and I started Shizune's, but I did not get far into it. That was like 2014. It was a long time ago. So I remember a lot of things, but I also forget a lot of things. Alright, let's see. Where is... I thought there was a question at the track. Fuck. Frick. Maybe it'll be here? I think you go to the Rin Lily question. Are you sure? I don't want to go for Lily though. We gotta go for Emmy. This is what the poll said, okay? I'm just gonna... I don't want to like destroy myself speaking for random things that don't matter. So I'm just gonna Google the branch question. Just so we make sure we get the right one. Alright, this is a good wiki. It's just a picture. The question was if you went to the track or not. That activates training. Okay, so it's this one then. Can you promise me to be a little more serious from now on? Yes. Yeah, I promise. Definitely. I think this is the right one. I'm still gonna check. Just in case. Just in case. Dun, 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 dun. Here you go. Yes. Okay. I believe this is the right option. Yeah, you definitely have to play it censored and some of the... And the scenes are not actually just porn. Yeah, they went all for it in the full version of this. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy. We read this. I'm not skipping this because it's fun. I'm skipping this because I read it all already. If you want to hear it, it's on YouTube. Here we go. This is all new text. I can't skip through it. After all, I'm going to start taking care of myself. I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape with what little I can to do to strengthen my heart. Hanako's is actually important? What about Hanako's? Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life. Or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised... Here we go. Play her route? We'll get to it. Hand spread, right? And something about hitting the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I'll play it without the restriction on. I don't really care enough. Apparently I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm not really feeling up to more than a couple of laps today. I'll slow to a walk pretty quickly. This is all okay. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit I do feel slightly good about getting out this morning. And like Emmy said, I just need to keep that in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect or something like that. It's at least nice to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. Kenji, please. Wow, this is a lot of stuff I read. But then again, the more you play, the less you need to actually read. Cut some slack, skip the dialogue. That's a good idea, because we don't need this. Yeah, fuck that. God, this is long. This is important only if you're going for Shizune or Lily. Yeah, that makes sense. I think before I usually went the other way because it was shorter or something. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. Emmy! But it's not all that bad. My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I've decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things have been great lately for me. God, I can't read all of a sudden. But that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway?
Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again.
Why's that?
Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try.
She frowns, seeming annoyed by a passing thought.
Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's still pretty early in the morning.
A shrug, and suddenly appears she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought.
So, come on then.
What?
You're here to run again, right?
Well, yeah.
So come on!
She's so adorable, oh my god. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work toward things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. I feel like her shorts would cause some mad chafing. Yeah, probably. I can imagine that. Emmy seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me, and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Okay, we totally gotta go for it, right? We gotta impress this girl. But will we die if we go for it? I don't know. What am I doing here? Heart health! Am I going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins.
Still going?
When you want to think I'm out of shape? Emmy laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're gonna play things, I'll increase my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning, and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams into my muscles, but I close my ears. What the fuck? Okay, I can't let myself fall behind, because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast! How the hell does she keep it? It's like a string pulling at my chest. A choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think anything else, then, oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble on one hand down to clutch at my chest, the other hitting the track and keeping me from falling on my face. Emmy whirls around and her eyes widen. Hisao! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing, just keep your breathing steady, calm down, don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? Panic! Close my eyes, shutting out the world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. I opened my eyes to glance at a very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird, even to myself. Oddly even and matter of fact, it makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers to support me. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd rather not have to be anyone concerned about my condition. Though at this point, it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine. Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. Hisao? What brings you up? What brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and he started grabbing his chest and I thought we'd come to get you to make... Was that supposed to skip itself? Whatever. Easy there, Emmy. Calm down. Hisao, what happened? I don't know. We were running and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It's just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, Hisao. I was being careful. Come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well racist as I thought it would. You just what? That is... I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is this true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs his forehead with one hand tiredly. Emmy, you gotta be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to race you is incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were running, and Emmy started to pull away, so I, sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, muttering a prayer for patience to some god or another, and looks back down at the both of us. You're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Hisao. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room, where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So, how does it feel? I don't know, nothing much. Tired, but just probably from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest. We'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lie down in the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries.
Look, I'm really, really sorry. I should have been more careful.
Hey, you didn't know. It wasn't your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up.
I want to make it up to you.
Again, with that decisive nod.
So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good.
I start with a "you don't have to," but then shut up and just nod when I see her face.
Good. We meet on the roof.
We?
Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a good spot for lunch, you know?
I see.
You'll come, right? You won't deny the chance for me to make it up to you?
Of course not.
Great, see you there.
Going to lunch with Emmy again. Do we already go yet? I don't know. Oh, hold on. I'll answer that later. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake and feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and try to lie down as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He's opened a window in his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in a breeze, in a heavy, lazy motion like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like a soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it, not even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I even try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal, even though obviously it was. It was just a reflex, to push it away, to keep it inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Ah, stupid, stupid, stupid. I have to be more careful or I'll end up in the hospital again. Or worse, at a manly picnic and falling off the roof and dying. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes with the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question before gaining orientation, the nurse looks at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to be in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, Hisao. Oh, fine. Climb down from that bed then. Let's see how you're doing. Don't... I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by an arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption on my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're alright. Head stopped spinning? Yeah. Good. And how are the contents doing? You didn't show any good judgment out there, Hisao. I swallowed the retort I was going to make. That's what I was thinking to myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said "told you so" or something, but he doesn't. I can try to help you keep up with your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher, to avoid interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering and then make my leave, as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time it could be different. I hear you. There's some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not too keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go straight from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff or just going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, and so I head towards the dorms. Wouldn't you have to change your clothes, though? The halls are quiet as the courtyard was, naturally so since everyone's in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open when Muto calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. Words. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nakai. Muto seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his classes tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gives me. Muto takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts an eyebrow and gives me some sort of a stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug as he gestured to me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get in the rhythm of this school. I even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. I've read this. Normally I join the flow and grab lunch for myself, but today's different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. Would it be in lieu? Like the French word, L-I-E-U? Whatever. Eventually, the torrent subsides and I step tentatively out into the hallway. Not only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, hi Hisao, great timing. I have a super extra lunch today. As promised, let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is aha. This is long. This is a long scene. Wow, okay. I'm going to be right back again. I've drank a lot of water today. I will return. Alright, let us continue. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with wacky characters and a nonsense plot. I start thinking to myself some kind of an Alice too, of myself as some kind of an Alice, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into the scribble wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way of the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It's like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad. Like it has a sense. That first time in the forest with Iwanako, I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stared at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. Another thing to skip. Muto stares in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day. Ah, so it's about that. Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life. Here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. Alright, I get it, I'm sorry. Muto closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. Why is my nose so stuffy? I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels, or if this is some act that he's practiced way too many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand this is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. Muto appears to lighten up a little bit, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for some time. We're not too far ahead, are we? This is where we get to skip. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. I've totally read this. Not that I have anything else to do elsewhere, either. School is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays any heed. I saunter past classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop my books off at my dorm first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji's in his room. No. Oh, thank you, Emmy. Thank you for saving me from Kenji. On the way to the dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way. Despite not having those weird running prosthetics on, I wave at her, and she skids to a stop. Yo, Hisao! Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling that she's examining me. What you doing? Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect, then you can help me and Rin. With the festival preparations? I'm not sure I would be much help. That's fine. I'm not much help either. Amy grabs my wrists and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself, simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she feels like she's finally running out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor and to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well stayed there waiting for Emmy had I known. So, is Rin working on that mural still? That's right. She needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help with that? Well, Rin told me you already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been here for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the still air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to the markings on the previous paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does, giving Emmy gives up and just looks to the shelf longingly like a child at a store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of the second she can see them and catch what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why me lending a hand here would have been useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough and I don't want to hurt you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height.
You are not.
This is me. Short as heck and not half the height as other people. She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort, and with a grudging humph, she turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint, while below Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double-checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone else has their weak spots. After we have almost all the items collected and spread out on the desk like a treasure hunter spoils, do I realize it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not look like she's told that she can't be able to do something, like jump. But Emmy seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of materials as we make our way back to the dormitories.
Rin's really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier.
Is she gonna make it?
No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of her dorm in the fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe the nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy.
Yeah, I've noticed she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as my likely too obvious awkwardness.
I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes.
On that I could agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rins. Whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel like Misha and Shizune do, with them working as a single entity sometimes. It's hard to say where one ends and the other begins, even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is most different of them all, different from everyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but it's really just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp for a properly descriptive word.
She's just weird. You know, earlier she just spent half an hour sitting on her box. She stared at her toes.
She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is.
All that time.
Okay. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures. The writing in this game, I've noticed, is not as good as I remember it. It's kind of questionable at points. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange. Weird imagery imaginary things populating the space between them. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I set myself on nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Bryn herself is at the center of the chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs, which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back! That was fast. Did you run in the corners again? Soda? Did I miss something? Soda. Where's that? What are you talking about? Oh, soda bottles. Yeah, I agree. That's just wrong. Isao helped me. Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking at my general direction. She nods absentmindedly at me, and she looks as though she hasn't slept last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Hisao. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you've made progress. Looking good as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they're blind. A blind artist. Genius. She considers this for a while like she's going to fall asleep. There's a boy. At the art club, you see, a blind boy. So he doesn't. See? He should become an artist. No bad luck, guaranteed. You don't think that would be a good idea? Oh. Don't you think that would be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I can recognize but can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with the Prussian blue paint in it. Jeez, Rain, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Yes, Bob Ross, Prussian blue. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. Prussia is a country above Germany. It left after the war. It's gone. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the others, the small paint on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There's no Prussian blue here. We need to go get more then. I opened my mouth to say that actually, we're not both needed for such a simple task like finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Rin, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Well, she'll notice when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Rin is, Emmy's been dragging me back into the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Huh? I didn't even realize the mouse was there. Whoops, sorry. Emmy's giving me an appraising look as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension draws on her face. You're not out of breath, are you? There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but I realize that I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. Guess it's kinda obvious. A little. Not everyone can be in shape, you know? Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That is... I should get in shape? Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figure there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't. But it was fun? Meanwhile, my comments seem to have helped Emmy come to some sort of decision. Well, that's it then. She gives me a serious look. You're joining me. I beg your pardon? In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out. In fact, she produces a crumpled sheet of paper. I've got it right here with me. She takes the sheet of paper and gives it a once-over. Why does she keep that on her? Times, dates, and laps all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to... My God, does she expect to have me running marathons? And where did she find the time to get all this together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this? A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise like he told you to. A vast conspiracy? Maybe Kenji's onto something here. Holy fuck, look out, guys. This seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me. Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now. My God, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding. What do you need a partner for anyway? It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if somebody else is counting on you to be there, right? I see. And this won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse. And I'll be keeping an eye on you just like he asked. You caught on quick, Hisao. And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course. But I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan. Well, if you refused, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made Emi Ibarazaki pout. You don't want to have that on your conscience, do you? As if to demonstrate, Emi begins pouting. It's the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy. So it's settled, right? You're going to be my running partner? Follow the workout and the dietary plan? Dietary plan? Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthy if you're going to get in shape, you know? I examine the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here. Oh, right, I forgot to give that to you. Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed. I had the nurse help me come up with it. The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know how many school nurses would go to their way to get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start? After the festival. Right after? What if I had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know? I meant the day after the festival. I knew that. Wasn't there something that was supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get that paint for Rin, huh? Oh no, it slipped my mind. You're in the art room. By the time we get in the paint and back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Emmy and I both decide to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it whenever she comes back anyway. Festival's tomorrow, and I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, the week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. The next day I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday, and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window I can already see some people at the soba booths. Haha. We are not going to the roof. I wonder. I'm kinda hungry, but I made this deal that I try to take better care of myself, be healthier, you know? To know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki or headed straight in. Deal. Sounds ominous. So what are you getting in return? Nothing, I guess. It's not that kind of a deal. You know, Emmy, from our year, we agreed to kind of watch each other's backs and, ah! Mm. Ugh. The shrill scream and the expression of the abject terror in Kenji's face chill my blood. It's as if I told the Catholic priest I sold my soul to the devil.
Her? You sold your soul to the devil and didn't get anything in return? What the hell is wrong with you, man? Don't you know who you're dealing with? She's a public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly with her carefully placed flying tackles?
The hell? Why did I get added in a Discord server? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
She's one of them, a key player in the vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. You have to call it off before it's too late. It's festival too. It's just another one of their ploys.
He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down his panic attack and finishes running its course.
I'm gonna have to find someplace to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival.
Okay.
Later, dude.
The door slowly closes with a low creak. I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. It's kind of unsettling now that I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? I've got a book I've been meaning to read. Something about the underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short, too. I could have it finished in a day. But would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, it definitely would be. But I suppose that it'd probably be better to head outside, see the festival, try to integrate with the other sideshow acts. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep up the somewhat friendly personality I've had the past week. Maybe get something to eat, my stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime. I could grab something from one of the stalls outside. I'm soon outside, surrounded by the various students and people who may or may not be their parents. Every so often I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from town for the promise of a festival. They're easy to spot. The ones who can't stop staring. They're behind their eyes you can tell they're thinking, what's wrong with this one? I want to almost yell at them, but at the same time I can't deny that I've been doing that all week. A wave of something like disgust sweeps over me, guilty for my own narrow-mindedness. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the pangs of anger that burn my guts like a wildfire. The scent of something fried leads me to a promised land where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Having a break, or lunch.
Breakfast? You mean you just got up?
Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I'm at lunch. Honest. She's not buying it. Brunch?
That's not a healthy breakfast at all.
She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing?
Hey, that's my breakfast. What happened to it being your lunch?
That's my... Whatever, it's my food. Emmy places her hands on her hips and begins lecturing me.
Did you really forget your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, Isao.
What about your heart? My heart's fine the way it is. Mostly. All I get in response is a roll of the eyes.
I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, could you?
This girl's got a point, of course, but I'm not about to concede it. It's not that bad of a heart. Certainly it can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure. And it handles a little running just fine, too. Emmy seems unconvinced. Not surprising, as I haven't even managed to convince myself.
Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time.
A devious look suddenly crosses her face.
Of course, you've been following a routine from the beginning. You wouldn't be in this situation.
Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. For example, I almost died. There was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while.
Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know.
A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings? She nods as if something important has just been decided.
So it's settled then.
You've seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you already convinced me yesterday this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy, after all. And here I am ordering something grossly unhealthy, but delicious. There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't there? Like staying alive? If Amy weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second. A sudden question springs into my mind. Hey, what the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? Amy shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figure you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Uh-huh. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thank you for your concern. Tomorrow morning, then? I figure that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Not so fast! I feel a hand on my collar, and in a second I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Emmy looks almost wounded by my annoyed question.
Thought you could use the company.
Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just gonna try sneaking... My nose is so plugged. This is really hard. Besides, you were just kind of... Fried food! Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentions it, it would have been a really good idea. I was not! Another glare. Okay, maybe I was gonna get a little. And the glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm a danger to myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way.
I knew it! You can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you.
This whole situation feels silly. I can only imagine what passerby thinks of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine, do as you like. I sigh. I might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Emmy thinks for a minute.
Well, I promised Rin I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that.
I confess I'm slightly curious as to how her mural turned out for myself, so again, I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod of assent. Assent? And find myself almost dragged bodily through a crowd as Emmy races to our destination. By the time we reach the dorms, I can feel my heart pounding. My heart shouldn't be pounding after just that. I take a few deep breaths, willing to calm myself down. I'm one of the most normal-looking people in the school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wish I'd lost a hand or something. At least then it'd be obvious that I belong. But instead, I don't even look sick. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Emmy looks back and notices my state of distress.
You're not going to die on me, are you?
Please don't.
It'll be my fault. I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Besides, after last time, I don't think I need to see that again, especially because the nurse will totally say it's all my fault.
No, I'm fine. Yeah, he really needs to get in better shape, huh? Guess I need to start running after all.
And you wanted to keep eating your greasy whatever it was. See, it's a good thing I found you, right?
Yes, it was. Maybe. Of course, I didn't want to add that I'd just be in the state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. Further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Rin.
Oh, it's you.
That wasn't the right voice. Hello, Emmy.
Hi, Rin. I brought Hisao along because he was going to give himself a heart attack.
I was not. My objection goes unnoticed.
We stopped by to see how the mural turned out.
Rin nods slowly. Well, it's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. Why is my nose so stuffy? I don't understand. Only since I started reading. I find myself wondering how long Rin's been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone stopped by to look at it? Are we the first ones? Obviously, we're not the first to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Rin about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. Looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out, but I guess it'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. We stand in front of the mural, taking it all in. I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors swoop and blend together, dragging me along with them. There's almost a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me feel sleepy. I try hunting some of the colors that Emmy and I grabbed for her. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Oh well. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet are starting to hurt, but Rin doesn't seem inclined to move. Emmy speaks up.
Hey Rin, have you eaten?
Of course, you can't survive otherwise.
What about in the past 5 hours?
Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so maybe that means I'm wrong. Emmy grins and claps her hands together.
Good, come get some food with us.
Nod, rinse, and assent. Nod, rinse, and assent. Rin nods. Oh boy. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm gone. Somehow I don't think they'd care. Whoever they are. As we head back to the food stalls, I cast a longing eye over the fried food. No, I'd better not. I'm pretty sure Emmy wouldn't let me anyway. Find a nice spot on the grass and sit down to eat our purchases. Well, my purchase anyway. Somehow I wound up paying for all the food. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. Silence follows as Emmy and I eat, and Rin stares at something or other, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. I finish my meal first and lay back on the grass. Emmy glances up from her food.
Tired, Hisao?
A little, I guess.
Well, don't oversleep or anything tomorrow morning. We started our morning runs, remember?
Actually, they'd slipped my mind. I was actually just enjoying myself. Wandering around the festival with these two has actually been fun. Yeah, I'll set an alarm.
You'd better be there. I'll get angry if you aren't.
Oh, my nose is itchy. What happened? God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out, that might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God then. A plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. And anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine starts then, not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow too. Ergo, I can have something unhealthy today. A sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with Wild Abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm gonna run in the morning, I should make it an early night. Those narrowed eyes again.
You sure aren't just gonna sneak off and buy some fried stuff over there?
No, I'm too full to bother now. I pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two cleaned me out anyway. Emmy giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. She's gotta know I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just trusting? I feel like kind of a monster.
All part of my master plan, Hisao. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thanks for the food and for keeping us company.
And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Emmy's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stands and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? Or slightly better than what I was planning to do. I feel a little bad about lying to Emmy, though. She really does seem concerned about my health. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. I do have homework to do. My book waits for me. I flop on my bed to read through the fireworks display. Eventually all the walking around, or more accurately running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Emmy dragging me in the morning to run just might be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Did he do his homework though? Oh, look at this! Wow, fancy. Oh, look! That does. she's so cute. Speedy Emmy. Oh, look at her little face. Act 2, form. Heck yeah. Come on, let's go. Alright, before this actually starts, I need to get more water. I've just been going through it endlessly. Okay, I will be back. I didn't realize that my mic was still muted. Who's this little boy in the webcam? Who is this little boy in the webcam? Come on, read my title. I'm Hisao. Come on. Hi, Tumpy. How you doing? Long time no talk. I'm yes? What? What are you talking about? Okay, let us continue. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet. I find myself wondering to find where the motivation to rise. Those were not the correct words, but I don't care enough. Class is still quite far off, but I agree to run with Emmy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through my promise to Emmy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. Come on, where's the music, game? Come on. The cold air caresses my face. The cold morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late! It would seem that Emmy's already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch, we're both early, in fact. Damn, you got me there. Emmy is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're here, actually. I was afraid this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think he'd actually show up. I knew it. Nice to know Emmy's on my side, at least. Emmy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week, and even then I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again, and I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emmy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao, you've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying, it kind of hurts a little. That's because you're, That's because you're out of shape. You gotta get some flexibility in you, like this. To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. What? God bless you, Emmy. I see, that's the sort of thing I should strive for. Of course, flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes no sense to me, but Emmy seems to believe it's true. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track. Got it? Sounds fine to me. Shouldn't be too hard, right? A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emmy sets a pretty good pace, and I fall behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. No, Emmy. We round the first curve without incident, and though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat. Oh, poor Azuma. Okay. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then, Oh, no, wouldn't want you to overexert to yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I am almost awash in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Emmy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. She takes off at a blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the back stretch, Emmy continues running to catch up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it! I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emmy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she's wearing a black sports bra. Okay, that's great. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much.
Not bad for a first effort, Hisao.
Yeah, Hisao is a perv. Kind of you to say so. It seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before she started running. Oh, Emmy seems to be out of breath. It must have been the sprint she did.
Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay?
Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose.
You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath.
Is that actually, though? I know that's like a thing that people say all the time. But, like, has anybody done the science on this? Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Oh my god, that was funny. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch a glimpse as she runs by, but her eyes seems to come alive with a fierce of joy. A sort of fierce joy. It's as if nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her.
Feeling better, right?
Yeah, actually.
Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know.
Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may not be any getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emmy's got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The position of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, so I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman and not looked, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting.
So how do you feel, Hisao?
Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness.
Yeah, that's the runner's high.
Runner's high?
Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline.
Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me.
I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better than sex, right?
What? I opened my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. Emmy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy.
What? Why did I agree to run with you? Emmy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time.
Oh no, we better get a move on, Hisao. Class is in an hour and I need to shower.
I should probably do that as well.
I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late.
Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics, as if that would explain everything.
It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'd better see him twice a day.
Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time.
Don't be silly, I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings.
That's not the tone that was appropriate, but whatever.
We both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think?
Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me.
Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay?
What?
Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come have it with us.
Where? The rooftop. Ren likes it up there. When? Lunchtime. When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of feel the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See ya! Bye! With that, she takes off like a shot for the school buildings. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. This is why you wait and then you stick a hand in and then you see if it's good enough and then you get in the shower. I managed to warm the water up a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. I guess I'd have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emmy wouldn't hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize it's only 10 minutes. I've only 10 minutes left to put on my clothes and get to class. Crap. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from this morning's run. Doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hall to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some prepackaged stuff when I moved in. Good thing, too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin are up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emmy along the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? I caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky. I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. Hey, thank you for the follow. Let's see who that is. Come on, load. Emmy Ibarazaki, hello. Thank you for the follow. And thank you for the follow, Makina. I guess I missed that. Sorry. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Ooh. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy scoffs. How ungrateful of you! I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a cat fight. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the same question. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey Hisao, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and she catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisao, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if she just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too. So I'll make sure he comes, Emmy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. Just like I feel like I've been conned. I feel like I've just been conned by not... I can't speak. More like by some outside force, pushing me irrevocably towards my own destiny. And maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Don't want that. Still, I suppose I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again?
Next week, silly. I only told you a few days ago.
No, you didn't.
I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come, though, will you?
Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on my calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know. Unless time changes its course.
It can do that?
Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug.
I suppose it can't be helped if it happens.
Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you?
I don't think we do we?
Rin shrugs again.
I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice.
For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emmy merely nods.
As expected.
What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapon against her.
Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all.
Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating.
No, it's just that you used your unpredictability too. It's pretty predictable.
Well, that's alright then. I don't get a chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two is far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, looking at a look of panic on her face.
Oh no, I still need to stop by I needed to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class.
Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment.
Sorry, Hisao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I gotta run.
Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with the urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied by something else entirely as she wanders off. She'd probably be used to Emmy taking care of her cleanup, and for some reason, I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss her garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a new wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Oh fuck, what voice was I doing for her?
Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Hee-chan.
Oh, that wasn't it though. Yeah, I decided it's too crowded in there. Misha's grin gets even wider.
Oh, really? You weren't participating in an illicit rendezvous?
That sounds more accurate. What? What are you talking about?
You were on the roof, right? With both Rin and Emmy, no less. You Casanova, you.
We just had lunch, that's all. Misha bursts into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. Isn't even in here, is he? This was supposed to be for him. He's not! I'll have to clip it. That's okay. Doop doop doo.
Wahahaha! You're so adorable when you blush like that, Hee-chan.
Good sweet Lord Jesus. She gives me a conspiratorial wink.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
There's no secret.
Oh?
Misha seems disappointed and then brightens up again.
Time will tell.
I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down half-heartedly, chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. I know this is what it eats. It knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure what it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. That it shouldn't be takeout. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get to my work done. Now let's see. What was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for... Well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emmy's probably down there. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already?
What are you doing down here, Hisao? Come to spy on me, have you?
I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figure that's about right. At the moment, Emmy's the only person I could think of I could visit.
So I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, I'll just go see Emmy. Is that what you thought?
She actually looks angry. For a chance for teasing... A chance for teasing presents itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give the maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding!
So you are down here to stalk me.
Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emmy laughs at this comment.
Well, you're not wrong, I suppose. But you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know.
I nod, conceding to the point.
Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too. So, really, I might take effort to stalk.
What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air.
That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know.
Oh, really? Like what? Emmy puts her head to one side as if she's trying to remember what she does in her free time.
Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes.
I guess that makes sense. Emmy's a girl after all. But Rin? Rin comes with you?
We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes the music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps focus her.
That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emmy wags a finger at me.
Now, why would I go and reveal all of my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another.
Sometimes I think that's all that Emmy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question's been answered. Even if you have a few hobbies, I don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emmy to laugh loudly.
Ha! That's the understatement of the year!
So why? I mean, you're a lot better in conversation and stuff, so I figured you'd hang out with a lot of people. But I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emmy usually seems defensive.
Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes.
Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to know this. I guess it's because lunch was so strange. Emmy what? That was not a word. Emmy shrugs, looking a moment very Rinish.
It's because we have similar outlooks.
If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean?
It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right?
Yeah? I'm not sure where this is going.
Well, I run.
And?
And that's why we're similar.
You lost me. Emmy frowns as if trying to figure out her answer.
Well, maybe it's the things that we do. Maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons.
Huh?
You know, we follow our passions.
So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art? Is that it?
Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed.
Not surprising, I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it.
And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that.
What do you mean, slowed down by anything? Emmy looks surprised and points to her legs.
You know, because I'm a runner and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think.
Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Emmy's sheepish expression, she's not so sure about it either.
Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along, and I think that's all that really matters.
I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me. Since I've got nothing better to do, I ask it. So what got you into running anyway?
Oh, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby.
A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them?
Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got a few more laps before I go see the nurse.
Oof, she races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me like she's got a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's as much as the same as it was this morning, but her eyes have taken more of a harder edge. I guess she's right. I really don't know much about her. I watch her run for a little while, and stand up and head back to my room.
Hey!
She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning. Got it? Got it. Head back to my room. Homework beckons. I can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is awake. Staring at the ceiling in the hollow of the darkness of my room, I gasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I could run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder how this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked it was only 1, so maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I throw on some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus, waiting for the sun to come up or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track, where for the first time Emmy's not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early, even for her. The bleacher seats are cold, but at this point I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's strengthening rays start to warm me up as I catch the dew on the ground beginning to steam slightly. My mind calms down a little. Someone's shaking me.
Hey, wake up!
Huh? Where? What? I guess I fell asleep after all.
What are you doing out here? You're gonna catch a cold or something.
I rub my eyes and am comforted by Emmy, who bends over me with a worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response comes out in a mumble. Couldn't sleep. Watched the sun come up.
Sounds like something Rin would say.
I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes along with sleeping on a bench for a few hours. Is it? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response.
So, couldn't sleep, eh? Obviously we needed to run you harder today.
Even though I've only known her for about a week, this seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body was plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind was just racing, that's all.
I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too.
I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing this first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades will be able to handle me tiring my brain out like that. Emmy pulls me up from the bleachers with her surprising strength for someone her size.
Now come on, Hisa, we've got work to do.
Don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep, and what sleep I got was on the bleachers. I don't know, should I really be running? Hello? Emmy glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else are you expected to work out the kinks?
You've been sleeping on the bleachers, for heaven's sakes. This is the best way to get that soreness out, is to run around a little.
Now stop hiding in the bleachers and get down here. There's no arguing that. I'm pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she says. I got to my feet and hopped down the track. The sun's warming up rather nicely, I think. Emmy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard-pressed to not stare. If this is how I have to wake up every day, I might be able to get used to this. Hey, you know, Hisao, it's not polite to stare. I wasn't staring, I swear. Emmy raises an eyebrow and considers me for a minute, as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then as she smiles and laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you didn't even have to deny it so strenuously. In response, I clap my hands together and go for a change of subject. So, that's enough stretching, right? Emmy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's really how you tell. Well, if I do feel up to the run, if that's what she means. Yeah, I feel ready to go. Same as yesterday, okay? We'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast. Just worry about keeping the pace, got it? You're the boss. Emmy grins again and we take off around the track. I think I'm gonna die. We're not even done with the first lap and my legs are on fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel the sweat pouring down my brow and we've only just rounded the second turn. Come on, Hisao, you've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow we're on the second lap. Emmy's not even sweating. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, I'm still moving. She's like a machine. Third lap. What happened to the second? Almost there, Hisao. Liar, we've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Emmy whirls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. If you say that, you'll have already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it. Whoa, language. We're on the first lap now. 4th lap now, not the first. She seems to want me to keep going. Legs, move, move. They feel so sluggish. I'm in mud or molasses or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch, Hisao. Give it all you've got. I pump my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Hisao. I knew you had it in you. The anger Emmy showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she's won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall on my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding fast, far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since... Oh God. Please slow down, heart. Slow down. Stop racing. I cough, and for some reason, I feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Trying to stay healthy? How ironic. I'm ready to give up, right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet. Come on. You'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but they feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emmy keeps close to me, like she's afraid that I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emmy laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure, and I don't really have the breath to say so. But that small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emmy takes off on her sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again I walk around the track. I can't help watching Emmy sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's always pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder, like she did yesterday. Sweat started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens, and she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, and her lips slightly parted, she looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emmy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone.
Not bad today, Hisao.
There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seeming embarrassed by her outburst.
Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what it's all about.
Saying what? Saying silly things? Emmy sticks out her tongue at me.
Idiot, I mean showing that you're alive.
Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good despite that.
Besides, this is one of the hardest days.
What do you mean?
Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and then the third day it's easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less.
So this will eventually get really easy, huh?
Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment.
So I'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh?
Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know?
A thought strikes Emmy and her face lights up.
Got it?
Got what?
You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything.
How charming. When?
Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then.
Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness. But you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely forget me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I could hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is some sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse.
I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again.
Yeah, okay. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly it seems that he notices me. Ah, hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Well,
Hisao has officially joined me on my morning runs.
I started to explain, but Emmy cuts me off.
I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything.
The nurse raises an eyebrow in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hisao, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would ya? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. A bit shy, are we? He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Yeah, words are really hard sometimes, right? Sorry, Emmy, I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. What? Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him.
You're an asshole.
Emmy bows to me apologetically.
Oh, wait outside, okay, Hisao?
I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal, and she doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing while she watches her go. Everyone is a goddamn perv, you're right. Still got it. I don't follow. He laughs again like he's in on some kind of joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounds a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't gonna say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so that you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. But I guess he's really worried about that. Hold up, this breaks so many laws. You're right, it probably does. But this is a visual novel? There are no rules in visual novels. Come on. Patient confidentiality. Hey, he didn't say too much. He just said that she got in a bad accident and had to amputate her legs. Totally didn't mention the other thing that I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say because spoilers. I have a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. I wave a hand. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm gonna be discreet. I'd probably been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, but that was none of the scenarios I thought of. There were really only so many ways that I could think of happened, but actually hearing the facts, it's a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Hisao. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable? She's an abominable snowman, you know. What do you mean? It means she's a snowman. She lives in the north. You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that he wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start to bleed where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. That's why she comes every day after she runs. Not to say the risk of infection in her legs is if her legs get cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins to check my heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Hisao. You don't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and my heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say that, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape, but if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much. And of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on and the nurse leans out to the dormitory to call in Emmy.
What took you so long? Now I'm gonna be late.
The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all.
What? Come on. What if I told you about seducing my friends?
Excuse me? I'd expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say it out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again.
I told you he was funny, didn't I?
Huh, I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse a lot about stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like I've only got a half hour. Thanks for your time. See you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. Okay, now that we're back in the room, I have to go to a different room. Because I keep drinking endless amounts of water. I will be right back. Okay. let us continue. Whoops. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly deigned, whatever, to give me weekends off from her morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It's gotten a little easier, but I'd be worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves. But thus far, I haven't minded it that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes, and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminded me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly, so don't forget, okay? Whoops. Crap, it's Emmy's track meet. I better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the purpose of going. And so I soon found myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete against another school like this one. I'll admit, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be 2 schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You start feeling unique, in which most cases wouldn't be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if lucky. Oh. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance to being alive through college. But there is. Okay. I'm brought through my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course I did. I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through, though. Lots of people say things and they don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet on an awful lot of stuff, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come down. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way and we'd soon settled down on an almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. Probably Emmy's? I forget what she looks like. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went back to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered what I was doing down there. The woman laughs, again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarazaki, Emmy's mother. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Oh. Apart from her hair being darker shade than Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. I'm sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not intruding yourself, Miss Ibarazaki. It's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got her own things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seeming pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see? It's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Miss Ibarazaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear, but just before I can utterly hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Emmy's mom, Beth, when? Oh my god. Huh, you're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question, that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an older woman and her amusements. Old woman? She doesn't look that old to me. Clearly Emmy gets her useful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. She's like 30? What? That's not old. It's starting. Oh, look, there's the girl! It's our girl. Come on, Emmy, you can do it. Whoa! I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. That girl's got no hand. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she runs the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half-second behind. Miss Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounces off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. What do you gotta prepare? You run. Is there anything more to running than just track? Hurdles. Oh yes, hurdles. Of course. What was I thinking? Oh. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out on the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. There's a helicopter outside. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter dash, and the relay. I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they'd take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you are. You can. See? Oh, wrong voice. My bad. She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, there's no blocks. Or does that mean the line? Whatever. Her whole body seems to be relaxed, but it's a false relaxation. I feel like Emmy has like some sort of, what's it called? She's cheating. She doesn't have leg muscles. She's only got half the leg muscles. I can see she's actually like a coiled spring. At the start, as the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upwards in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, a fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess comes all from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Miss Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude for me to ask after Emmy's father, but after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father right now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising, considering... They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. It's her boyfriend, isn't it? I mean her husband, what? I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay's about to begin, but when I look, I can't find Emmy. I thought that Emmy would be running the relay. She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet. Oh. Did you see it? Emmy at her Emmyest. Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins when I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Wait a minute. All these kids are from the same school. They're all wearing the same uniform. As I see Emmy sprinting onto the track and take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. She really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. But then she crosses the finish line. I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's definitely a stumble. Rin inhales sharply. It looks like she's actually concerned for a second. Aw, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Usually that proves to be too tiresome and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not gonna be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try that hard. Or at all. But hey, whatever. Emmy's surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on her run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing even if she had arms. It doesn't suit her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks and happily grins at me, or us. Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We should have brought you a crown of laurels, but Isao didn't find one. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow.
Sure.
Good, so how'd I look?
I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settle for substantially safer, very impressive. Emily seems pleased with this assessment. Did I just say Emily? Sorry, Emmy. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given after her lax of legs. Who the? Sorry, Lebowski. Whoa. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts somehow.
Great to hear. I was worried that I would look a little slowed down on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh?
Actually, I noticed Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence.
What was that all about?
He noticed it at the end.
That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later.
There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it isn't a big deal, but I suddenly notice a slight twitch on her face. It's like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow, too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern, because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder.
Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running is all. And come on, a little pain isn't gonna stop me.
Oh no? Emmy grins for a moment. Emmy grins for a moment. She looks like she did during her sprint. Fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, really beautiful.
Hasn't yet.
Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh?
Damn right, I'm Emmy Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything.
Impressive. Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something.
Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on Sunday, I've got homework and classes and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course.
Right, of course. Oh, right, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'd call you later tonight.
I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up to meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over.
She shivers slightly, and I realize that she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow, too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word, I throw it around her shoulders. Emmy jumps slightly and then grins at me.
Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess.
Yeah, it looked like it. I'm beginning to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket would be taken the wrong way. A boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony.
Oh yeah, thanks.
She turns to Rin and myself.
You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Sal. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget.
How could I?
Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all.
Oh. With this, she waves and quickly dashes off to receive her medals, or what they pass off as medals these days. Rin and I head from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With this statement, she turns back and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big a deal? Emmy was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster such a worry over this whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Alright, after this day is over, oh, I guess it's over now, I was gonna end the stream. Spent about 3 hours. Got a good distance into the Emmy route. And we'll pick this up on Monday. Dum 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 dum. Save. New. Yes. Okay. I'm thinking I might stream on Sunday Not Katawa Shoujo though, probably Beat Saber. And then we'll pick this back up on Monday. But if you miss it, Lebowski, they'll all be on YouTube. Not that you haven't played this already. Anyway, for anybody who hasn't already been here for very long and hasn't seen them or joined, here's my Twitter. I usually post on there when I'm going live. I don't think I actually posted today, but whatever. But I always post on my Discord when I'm going live, if you want to join that too. So, I will possibly see you on Monday, but I'll definitely see you all on Sunday.